my experience tells me that there's always two very distinct types of users at this point. Now, typically we've got website designers or people that understand branding and have got quite a reasonable knowledge of fonts, and then often in business we've got some newbies in terms of design that don't understand it and would like to understand more. So in this session I'm actually going to take like 3 minutes now for, if you understand fonts, I'm just going to give you a quick 3-minute overview, 3 tasks really that you can now just go in the fonts area here, just do these 3 tasks and move on. And then we'll probably I'll go really slow for the final 20 minutes so that people can understand fonts, and by the end of this session you'll be just as good as those other designers that have moved ahead. So what are these 3 tasks? Well, it comes down to using the bots to do all the hard work for you. Okay, so what we'll do here, we're just in the fonts area, which is from styles, and then fonts is the 3rd tab along. Now you can see here, I'll just draw your attention to heading 1. Okay, now in the onboarding I chose Roberto Condensed because I didn't have my font there. I need Roberto Mono for my that's in my brand guidelines. So here I will actually just remove this and type in Robots, and you can see I've got Roberto Mono here. Brilliant. I'm going to select that. Now I could go through all of these fonts and start replacing them. Okay, but all I need to do now, I've chose Roberto as my typeface here, so I'm just going to apply this typeface to all and just click this. Now the bot runs it and it goes and replaces them all for us. So you don't need to wait too long for that. You can see it load. The preview actually takes longer to load on the right. Pretty quick. So that's your first task. Choose your first typeface. Now if you remember from the onboarding earlier, I said when you're choosing your heading, choose a conservative one, and then for your more display ones, choose a more poppy one. Well, you've just seen that in the editor, where we can have heading 1 and we can make it in this heading 1, or we can give it another style and make it a bit more poppy. That's pretty cool, right? So what I wanted to do is show you, now that all of these are in our conservative Roberto Mono, I just want to go and show you which fonts here to apply that more poppy typeface. Well, there are 3 places to do it. I would do it in all the styles, and later on in this video I'm going to explain what all these styles are, so you can skip ahead to those if you need to. There are indications here of what they do. Okay, so you go and replace all the styles with that more poppy one, and then go and replace the widget title and the widget price. So it's the widget price, the widget title. I would do all of the styles. You can come back and change these later as we move into day 3. You might want to come back once you're designing and change a couple of these. And then if you're using block quotes, you might change the block quote as well. So you're really just going to go and change those. So for me, I know that my poppy one that I'm using for this theme is ShareTech Mono. So I would simply go through and replace ShareTech Mono. Now, once I've done that, I can now come back up here and get the bots to do the hard work for us. Well, in the theme, let me just go, I'll show you this first of all actually. I've got Roberto Mono selected here, but now I could take this typeface and go and make it a font. So for this heading 1, I can choose the desktop size, the mobile size, the line height, which is above and below the line, and the letter spacing between. I can also say which is the bold and regular that I want people to pick and choose from in the editor. And if you need to, you can actually lock down uppercase. You probably wouldn't ever lock down uppercase, but you can do if you want to. Particularly, you might do that for the header font, which you can see if I just jump back down here to menu. You can see our header text is there. This one I might decide to capitalize that. Sorry, to make uppercase. Cool. So I think you get that. Pretty good. So in here, I now would know that my theme has made these pretty good for me to begin with, and I can come back and change these if I want to, with the exception of 2 things. Now as a designer, you know that there are 2 things with fonts that make a real difference, and it's line height and letter spacing. So line height being the text above and below in the lines, and then the letter spacing. Well, here in 2023 it can be quite contemporary for let's say paragraph text to have quite a loose line height, almost double line height spacing. So what we've set with the bots is we've actually said to the bots, here we've got 3 kind of presets with the bots that they can go and apply. Right, so we've got tight, regular and loose. So if you do want a loose line height, just select loose, and then for your letter spacing, depending on your font, you might want it tighter or more regular or loose. And you can play around with these. So just select 1 line height and 1 letter space and hit apply, and then you'll see that our bots update in here. Then you can come over here in the preview and have a look and just play around with it. Now this is based on the fact that Mobile have built hundreds of websites. So we've built our bots knowing the more common use cases. So it's most likely that we'll get you, if you're a designer and you want specific things, it's most likely that we'll get you very close with the bot. So that's going to save you having to go through each of these fonts in the palette and make them all out one by one. So you can just run the typeface, okay? Then you can go and choose some of these styles, and I recommend you probably change the 12 or maybe at least the first 6, and then go and change the widget title, the widget price, and maybe if you like the block quote as well. So that's it, and then you'll just come and choose and have a play with the line height and letter spacing, hit apply. Once you're happy in here, press save, and that's it, that's the episode done. So that can really take you about 5 minutes, but you know, it's worth having a bit of a play with. So I'd allow about 10 minutes to get this set up and then have a play and decide what you like best, knowing that you can come into any of these fonts after you've used the bots and tweak them as you like.